Hi students, so this is the part 2 of our decorators. So we are just in my previous video I have already covered the prerequisites that you need to cover decorators. So we are just left with decorators. So let's start. So what is decorators and what is its use? I will show you examples. We will learn through examples. Okay. So decorators is basically we will add some functionalities to an already existing function. That is what it is. Okay. So what does it mean? It means, let's say you have already defined a function, okay, or let's say you have access to a function, you can call it, but you can't modify it, okay. But what you want to do is you want to add some functionality to it, so you want to modify it, but you don't have access to that. Decorator helps in that case, okay. So what I want to say is, let's say you have a predefined function and you can't modify that function, but you want to add some functionality to that function, okay. So that is where decorator comes into play. And this concept, I mean, manipulating a code through some code, we have already talked about this in my previous video, that this concept is nothing but metaprogramming. So decorator is a way to implement metaprogramming, okay. So yeah, that's what it is. Now let's understand this through examples. So first example I want to show you is this function, def normal function. So what it does is it just prints hello world. So whenever I call norm function, so it will print hello world. Now, I want to decorate this function. So let's say I don't have access to modify this function, but I want to decorate it, or I want to add some functionality to it. So what I want to do is I want to, let's say this is my first decorator, okay. So what this decorator does is it is nothing but another function, okay, as you can see. So what it does is it takes that function that I want to decorate and it defines another function. This is called wrapper function. So it is something like, so let's say you have a gift, you are wrapping that gift using a wrapper. So this wrapper function plays that role, okay. And inside that we will call our gift, or this normal one function, and these two statements, these two print statements will be our those add-on functionalities that we are talking about, okay. So in this case we are just what we are doing, we want to execute it in this way, that whenever we call normal one function, it will first call, it will first print this statement, then it will call normal one, then it will print that it has finished, decorator one and finished its job, okay. So this is how I want to implement it. So what it is doing, it takes this function as its argument. We have already talked about this function as as an argument, then function as returning value. We have already talked about this. So I am not going into deep in this video. This has already been covered in previous videos, so watch that first, then come here, okay. So yeah, that is what it is doing. Now if I just do like this, so if I call decorate one and pass normal function and make, what this function will return, nothing but wrapper function, right, this wrapper function. So when I will call normal function, it is same as calling wrapper function. So wrapper function will first print decorate one has been called, then it will call normal one. So normal one will print hello world, and then it will print decorate one finished its job, okay. So let's see. See, decorator one has been called hello world, decorator one finished its job, okay. So that's, that is the use of decorator. Now let's talk about decorator chaining. So as you can already guess that we can add, oh, before that, so this is the basic thing, okay. So this is what we are doing. Now there is a syntactic sugar that we should use instead of doing this all the time. So there is this thing. So instead of doing this, you are just adding this @ symbol and decorate 1. So I mean, behind the scene it is doing the same thing. Okay, let me show you the output again. See, same output. Okay, so that's is decorator. Now let's talk about decorator chaining. So as you can already guess that we can add multiple decorators here, or we can pass our function to multiple wrapper functions. Okay, so how to do that? So here we have defined, I have defined another decorator function. So it will print the same thing, but in this case decorator 1 and in this case decorator 2. So now let's see what is the sequence of printing. Then you will understand that how all these things are happening behind the scene. Okay, so I'm just using this syntactic sugar instead of doing this. So I mean, this thing is same as this thing. Okay, so it will as so this sequence is important. Okay, so sequence of adding the decorators is important because as we have added decorator 2 first, so it will call decorator 2 first, then the returning function, then it will pass decorator 1. Okay, so that is the sequence of execution. Now let's see the output. So before, so now let's guess the output. So first it will call decorate 2. So decorate 2, it will decorate 2 has been called, then normal on hello world, and decorate 2 finished its job. Then it will pass this one to this whole thing to decorate 1. So a new wrapper will come here. So the sequence will be like, first decorate 1 has been called, then decorate 2 has been called, then hello world, then decorate 2 finished its job, then decorate 1 finished its job. That is how it is supposed to be because the sequence matters. Okay, so now let's see. See, decorate 1 has been called, decorate 2 has been called, then hello world, then 2, then 1. So these three statements, decorate 2, hello world, decorate 2, is for the first decorate 2, and the outer wrapper is for decorate 1. So if I just change the sequence, as you can already guess, so it would be like, first decorate 2 has been called, then decorate 1 has been called, then hello world, then decorate 1 has been called, then decorate 2, sorry, decorate 1 finished its job, then decorate 2. Now just see this. See, first decorate 2, then decorate 1. So this is just the concept of how the execution is happening behind the scene. Okay, now another example. So I mean, as I said, in this case we are just printing, so we can add any functionalities here. So I want to share with you an example where I will add some functionality. So let's say I have this function upper lower. So what it does is it takes a string as its argument and it returns or it prints uppercase of that string and lowercase of that string. Okay, so this is the, I mean, this is the main function. Okay, but as I said, I want to add some functionality to it, and what I want to do is before printing, I want to check whether user has given a space or a zero length string, okay, or not. So if user has provided with let's say a space, I will just print a message that space is not allowed here or space is not permitted, and same for zero length string. Okay, and if user has given a string that is length greater than 1 greater than 0, then I will perform this print. So I want to add this functionality and I want to use decorator here because and in that case I don't have to modify the main function. So what I want to do is, so I have defined two different functions just to show you the decorator chaining. Okay, I mean we can implement all the things in one function easily. I want to just show you the decorator chaining portion. That is the reason I have defined two different functions. Although in this case the sequence of adding the decorators will not matter. Okay, so let's see. So the first decorator function, it will, so this is my smart upper lower one. So what it is dealing with, the zero length string. Okay, so what it is doing, it is taking that stupid upper lower or the main upper lower function as its argument, and this is my wrapper function. It takes that argument, not this. So it takes the string. So let's say, let me talk about this first. So in my first example, I have not passed any argument, right? I'm just calling normal function. I'm not passing any argument. But in case I want to pass any argument, so how it works is here this wrapper function will take that argument that I am passing while calling, and I mean why we are passing it here. It will just I will explain to you in just few seconds. So before that, let's talk about how this is working. So first it will take the normal upper lower as its argument, and this is my wrapper function. It takes the string as its argument and it is checking length is greater than 0, and if it is true then it is calling the stupid upper lower or this, or in this case my normal upper lower, and it is passing this my string. Okay, now if it is not, then it will print 0 and string is not accepted, and at the end I am just returning my wrapper function. So if I do like this, so if I just smart upper lower 1 and I pass in this case a 0 length string, oh, I have not commented out the next printing statements. Okay, as you can see 0 length string is not accepted, it is printing. So that is how it is working. Now let's see. So I am calling upper lower here. Okay, now before that, while I am adding this decorator, it is nothing but this portion. So it is nothing but, let me write it again. So upper lower equal to upper lower 1 and I'm passing upper lower. So adding this decorator is same as this. So what it is doing, it is passing my this upper lower to smart upper lower 1. Okay, I have not even called it. Okay, so I'm just modifying this upper lower. Okay, so now let's say, so it takes this upper lower as its argument, and inside this wrapper function, so it has defined this wrapper function. So it takes a string, and inside that string, if length of that string is greater than 0, then all this stuffs. Okay, so, and at the end it returns wrapper function. So what it becomes is, so this upper lower becomes nothing but that wrapper function. So next time when I call upper lower a 0 length string, I am passing 0 length string as its argument. So it is same as calling wrapper function and passing 0 length string as its argument. Okay, because that 0 length string will be attached to that. I have already talked about this in my previous video. So as I said, calling wrapper function and passing 0 length string. So it will check greater than 0 or not. As it is not, so it will print 0 length string is not accepted. But if I just pass, let's say hello world, so it is true. So it will return stupid up. So it will first call stupid upper lower my string. So in this case, it is our this upper lower. So it will print this one and it will return from that function. Now if I just want to add the space case, so that constant that I want to check whether user has passed space or not. So I will just add this decorator. It is same as this one, this statement. So it will in this one, so it will first call smart upper lower 2. So it will first check for space and then it will check for my 0 length string. So but in this case, in this example, for this case, it is not mandatory that the sequence has to be the same. So in this case sequence doesn't matter, but yeah, so that's how it works. So now let's say I have already added these two decorators, and let's see. So first I want to comment out this and I want to call 3 upper lower. So first is this. So I am calling upper lower 3 times, first passing space, first passing a 0 length string, then space, then a normal string that should be accepted. Okay, so now let's see how it works for all this callings. So for the first calling, zero length string is not accepted. For space is not accepted. For hello world, it has first, this is the uppercase of hello world and this is the lowercase. So that's all about decorators chaining examples, and why should we use decorator, and what are the use cases. So that's all about today. I just want to add something that I mean, after this, these are the basics. Okay, so these are the base, and if you want to know more about decorators, I'm just adding a Stack Overflow answer. Stack Overflow answer in my, the link will be given in the description. So you can, I mean, after watching this video, now you can go for that answer and you can look into that. So this is the Stack Overflow answer. Link is in the description, and for this file I will upload this on GitHub, and link will be given in the description. You can access it. If you get stuck anywhere, just leave a comment. I will reply as soon as possible. Okay, so that's all about today. Bye bye.